What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Ash Survive Show. My name is Malik Kent.
What?
My name is Mackie Bruce.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And and this is the Ash Survive Show where you come to
Vibe with the tribe.
Today we are jumping into the Superman sneak peek. Yes, I'm super excited. Superman's one of my original favorite superheroes. Batman and Superman, I was always torn between the two. But at the time, I think they were releasing all of the SMALLVILLE, so I had every season on DVD. And I think SMALLVILLE really changed my perception of Superman, and it humanized him so much. I feel like it was very good telling. It was all these different elements. I learned that.
Yep.
He had all these vulnerabilities outside of kryptonite, outside of this, outside of that. So, I've been waiting for them to kind of like bring it back to that. Bring that element into it, still making him strong, but trying to find like a good contrast of the strongness, the strength that he can display, as well as that vulnerability that he has in the show. So I'm super excited for this, guys. We did other trailers and things like that.
I like the reference you were talking about for SMALLVILLE, because not only did it show Superman, but also showed all the other heroes nonchalantly that would become the heroes in the series. Like you got the Flash, you got Aquaman that came out of nowhere. He had Lex Luthor, one of his colleagues and friends, back in the day. Yeah, that was just crazy.
It was great. I love what they did with Lex back then. I've seen his Rosenbaum, but his podcast is very, very good. He'd be having a lot of people on there. He had the newer Lex Luthor and stuff on there. So great shit, man. Great shit. It's funny. The Flash was like the Bart Allen Flash. It was the first time I think they put Bart Allen in anything. Great shit, man. But yeah. Like I said, we are fans. We do read comic books and stuff, as you guys can see. We also write comic books. It's been like a lifelong thing. We have a whole connected universe. Started creating when I was like 10 years old. Started doing all the art for it. And then 14, wrote my first novel. And then we got into film. We won like awards for, fantasy films and all things that we took across the world and all that good stuff. So, and now we have a comic book universe with like 20 plus different comic issues currently. So, and growing. So, great stuff, man. Yeah. Great stuff. We definitely do this. But let's jump into this trailer and then we will talk more about what we see throughout.
We're back in the...
I love how this ice looks.
Yeah.
Colors are nice. Oh shit.
Right at the spot. Damn.
This is the same as the...
Yep.
Last
Damn. Yep.
Damn.
Jeez Louise.
I love that they show the blood and the bruising. Yeah, and the way it's like echoing off the ground.
Yeah.
It was insane to his headphones. Oh my god.
Hey.
Krypto.
Oh, shit. He's not trying to play.
Krypto!
Jeez.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. What is fucking traumatized?
Take me home. Home.
It's on it.
Damn.
Home.
Fuck. Just showing the struggles of him just trying to get.
That's gotta be a young Krypto.
Yeah, he's very small. Oh shit.
Oh, so he was trying to get there, but he missed his mark probably. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, just ran out of energy.
Yeah,
Damn, that is very crazy.
Like it just appears like that. It's insane instead of it already being formed in theirs.
Yeah. A lot more practical.
Whoa. beats the very heavy key in the animation.
Right.
Superman!
Oh shit. Oh, it's robot. Oh shit.
Oh, multiple robots. Oh, these must be the robots from Brainiac.
No need to thank us, sir, as we will not appreciate it. We have no consciousness whatsoever. Merely automatons here to serve. Meet 12. She's new.
He looked at me.
What the fuck?
14 fractured bones.
Damage to bladder, kidney,
Damn.
large intestine, lungs.
With a healthy dose of yellow sun, we'll have you up and at 'em in no time.
Whoa. What?
Oh, it's rotating?
That's
292
insane!
times Saharan prime
This is
flow.
fucking crazy.
These robots are crazy too.
Damn.
You got the music too?
Bro, shit's fire. I can't even.
That's crazy.
He's back.
Damn, man.
I can't wait till July 11th. Ah, this is sick. Superman. God, there's a lot of fights and interaction in this movie that's about to take place and happen.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, man, I don't even know. I'm fucking a little mind blown right now. Yeah, there's so many things that I want to say about this. And first of all, for those of you who are new, for those of you who haven't seen us do like a lot of DC things or Marvel things or just comic book related things, with me being a writer, writing for so long, I think that I have the ability to be very critical. You know what I mean? I personally believe I think actually being a creator, you kind of look at things and you understand how hard it is to pull off certain things. You understand the intricacies of storyline and like comparing certain characters or certain genres to other genres. I feel like sometimes people, they watch certain things, like you'll watch an Invincible and then you'll try to compare it to a Superman and you're like, oh, it's not as cool because of this element. But in the world that this character lives in, that element doesn't exist. You know what I mean? So sometimes I feel like, especially nowadays when people do critiques of anything, you know, any IP, it's almost cooler to look for faults than it is to just analyze if you like it or not. You know what I mean? And then start talk about what you appreciate. I feel like people try to differentiate by saying like, hey, I hate this because blah, blah, blah. And, you know, granted, there's certain things, you know, we're not going to go down like the, you know, Disney timeline or nothing like that. But like, there's certain things, you know, where it's very easy to hate because it's just nothing like that. Nothing like what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like the debate between like, is this accurate to the comic? And then which comic is it accurate to? And then, you know, all that good stuff. I feel like that can get very like nitpicky. So I'm not going to do none of that in like my analysis. That's the first part I want to say. You want to say anything?
No, I like the whole entire trailer. I like the premise of even just the Fortress of Solitude. Just I was just amazed how much of it was like alive, like it was itself like organism being.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the thing that kind of tripped me out because I'm used to just Superman flying in and it's just right there and he's just like walking in.
Yeah,
but this thing was actually
inorganic
like moving around and being its own like being. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was crazy. It was cool to see that. Yeah, and then to see him being just beat up and just like that. Kind of like shows it like how you're saying how it shows more of his weakness instead of him just being like the Superman everyone knows indestructible. So
yeah, and I feel like the amount of detail that they put on. Fuck. All right, let me gather my thoughts. This trailer is really good because how they just doubled down they didn't really show too much more. You know what I mean?
No.
They really just doubled down on the moments that you already seen. And I noticed that every clip they kind of dragged it out a little bit longer, so you can get a little bit more of a feel of what's going on. Yeah, like the Krypto scene. Like they didn't really tell any more story. They added to the aesthetic. You got to feel more of what was going on. And I feel like the feeling that I just got from that felt like I was in a completely different world. And I think for as much pressure as people have on this Superman movie, like, oh, if this will make or break, I feel like nowadays people enjoy when things get broken. Kind of like how people enjoy like heroes meeting adversity. They like to see a hero lose. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I feel like people do that with Hollywood and big projects and movies and stuff. They look at it and they're like, damn, this has $1 billion behind it. Blah blah. If this isn't, which is a crazy number by the way, but like this has fucking $200 million behind it. If this movie flops, then blah blah, and they'll be like extra critical to like the smallest things. And I feel like this feels like it's not gonna be able to hit everything. You either make it so big that it feels like it's introducing you to Zack Snyder's world, which that's gonna encompass, a bunch of different characters coming in.
Yeah.
You're gonna get different tones throughout the movie depending on who he's interacting with, all that good stuff. And there's gonna be people that are gonna complain about that because they're gonna be like, I feel like there's just too much going on. You don't really get to focus on this and that. And then there are also going to be people, if you make this too small of a film where it's only focused on Superman, they're going to complain about like, this just didn't feel like grand enough for a Superman film. You know what I mean? So there's going to be people on both sides that are going to complain about it. And that'd be the part sometimes that'd be fucking me up, especially in today's like analysis of videos. Like, can't we just like some shit? You know what I mean? Can't you just be like, you know what? I like this cape. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when this shit came out and people were like, yeah, the CGI in the face is crazy. And the niggas were just like, this ain't even CGI, bro. And you like dropped the footage and shit, and it was a whole just a weird moment, you know what I mean? I hope people can just kind of go into this accepting that it's not Zack Snyder, and I love Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder's super. I love Henry Cavill in general. Anything really he does. I can't wait for that Warhammer series. We're going through all that stuff if you guys have been keeping up with our page.
That's gonna be insane.
Craziness. And I love Zack Snyder, but I feel like I can see this as its own thing. Like that world that I just saw felt like an entirely new Superman world. What you're saying about the living fortress and rotating it so that way he can get like the actual sun. And how the sun directly affects him was crazy to me. I don't know how I feel like I haven't seen that before. And, and there's a lot of talk about like, oh, we're doing another Superman film. We're doing another Batman film. Just getting that clip and being like, fuck, when's the last time I seen Krypto actually matter in the like be a dog and like feel like he's like really an actual part of Superman's life like that. And I mean, like, there's a Titan series where Krypto came in, he did some superhero things. Crazy shit. He fucking caught a missile and rotated it. It's crazy outlandish shit. And he was in SMALLVILLE, he's in like a couple other different things and stuff like that. But I feel like this is the most that just that 5-minute scene of him jumping on him and you hearing him get hurt, like you can hear kind of like the cracks, and then finding out, oh shit, he has broken ribs and like he actually has injuries that we can see that they're analyzing. Crazy, because most of the time when you see him, you're like, oh, he's hurt, but like, is he really hurt though? Right, it's not like a human. So the fact that they just humanized him in that way and showed the actual, different issues he has.
Broken ribs.
Crazy.
Internal bleeding.
The fact that the sun hitting him hurt in a way because I imagine like his bones are healing themselves, so they're like pushing back into place. And
like
all that
ultra
being painful.
Like healing, like rised up like super like fast, and for him to not be able to take that or feel that kind of like was hurting him in the process of healing him.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like it's pushing through that entire healing process in a certain amount of months. Just that level of detail, man. I can't even. Amazing.
Yeah, because he's never flown that close to the sun except when he got hit with the nuke with Doomsday and Batman vs. Superman. And then he was very skinny, and then he happened to be just rotating close to the sun.
In the Zack Snyder universe. I mean, there's times, because like the Superman Returns and stuff with Brandon Roth, and there's times where he's flown up there. I mean, the older Superman too. I mean, guy fucking flew around the Earth. There's some crazy shit that's happening.
You think he might do that in this movie?
No, I feel like nowadays they're gonna keep it they're obviously gonna make it somewhat realistic. Yeah, that Superman was crazy. Superman flying around the Earth in the opposite direction to change the gravity of all that. I think that's back when we just didn't understand science and shit like that. There wasn't enough people who understood how it works, so they're just like, oh. And I think at that point in time it was cooler to just be silly and comic booky.
Yeah.
If you try to do that now, people are gonna be like, bro, you just destroyed the entire planet.
Yep. You just threw the Earth off its course. Now the whole entire gravity pull is going to go into the moon, and then you're going to just hit all the other planets in the process.
Exactly. You're going to have general reactors like us that are going to be pulling up fucking schematics and shit. It's going to be too much.
According to our calculations, the 45-degree angle on the moon right now.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to know your guys' thoughts, though, as far as Superman. And just all the other things I was talking about as far as critiques, reactors. There's a lot of comic book channels and stuff like that. People have been, reading comic books for the past 50 years who have a certain image.
50?
There's
reactors that are that old doing this?
Well, comic book analysis.
Yeah.
I watch some people who are, who I kind of look at, and I look at the certain takes, and I'm like, I feel like in this new modern day, you kind of have to evolve with everything else. Mm-hmm. Because back then, people weren't watching anime like that. People weren't watching this and that. And now that people are exposed to these other things, and they're being exposed to Superman, Batman, all these different characters for the first time, they're able to see Goku next to Superman directly, and then they can make that comparison. And if it doesn't meet their worldly view quota, then it doesn't matter. And a lot of people, I think, still have the older mentality of well, this is what he once was, and blah, blah, blah. And they didn't evolve with the rest of the world because they lived in comic book world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, which is a whole nother debate. Like I said, if you guys are actually into deep, talks about shit, you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an expert of whatever the case is. Right now, I'm going pretty heavily in reading comic books, and I just bought 100 plus new comic book, graphic novels, manga, and stuff like that, because I'm just trying to process through different stuff. There's a lot of things coming out.
Not kidding. He has my kitchen table full of comic books just laid out right now. He has a whole Green Lantern series.
Yeah, man, it's crazy stuff. Yeah. It's crazy stuff. But yeah, man. So if you guys are into superhero stuff, if you guys want to engage in these conversations, we also do have the we also have the Discord where we jump into a bunch of stuff. We have an anime channel, we have a comic book channel. Warhammer's going crazy now. League of Legends going crazy. Mm-hmm. So if you guys want to go over there and talk about more comic book stuff, DC and or Marvel, I would love to conversate with you guys. Maybe you guys can get me up to date on certain things, fill in certain gaps that we missed, because there's big universe, man. Big universe, lots going on. I would appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Till next time.
Until then, we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.